For today's video, I'm using the mind mapping software FreeMind to illustrate what I'm going to be talking to you about today. Please, for maximum effect, increase the video window up to your maximum screen settings so that you can see everything that's within the mind mapping software. The specific topic of today's video for you as a small business owner is how to protect you and your business website from the type of online hack that happened a couple of weeks ago that was reported in the press, where a Russian gang hacked 1.2 billion username and passwords from various websites. The Russian gang got the 1.2 billion usernames and passwords belonging to about 500 million email addresses. A company called Hold Security described it as their largest known data breach to date, claiming that the stolen information came from more than 420 websites in virtually all industries across the world. They didn't just target large companies, but they targeted every single company that their victims visited. The important factor here, as far as this specific hack is concerned, is that multiple small business and even personal websites were also attacked as part of the hacking process. These databases were then used to attack email providers, social media providers, and other websites to distribute spam to victims, and also install malware redirections on legitimate websites. Now obviously it's going to take a huge amount of work to securely contact everybody that's been affected at all these various websites. And despite the large number of credentials that have been compromised, Hold Security reckons that it would be premature to advise the public to reset all of their passwords. And although there are a large number of passwords involved, Hold Security considers a lot of them from their perspective to be irrelevant because the websites are tiny. Now I don't know about you, but I have a number of clients whose sole source of revenue is generated from one of these so-called tiny websites, and for such a person to have their earnings redirected to a third party in Russia would be a major deal. And yes, it is true that a relatively small portion of internet users have been affected. After all, there are 27 billion internet users online each day. So it's true that for the vast majority of us, this data breach is no need to panic, but it's a good idea to use this opportunity to follow best practice for password protection, because it certainly won't be the last time that something like this happens. Apparently this Russian database initially acquired databases of stolen credentials from stolen hackers on the black market, and these databases were used to attack their email providers, social media, and other websites to distribute spam and install malware. And the hackers got access to this additional data using botnets, which are networks of computers that are infected with malware to trigger online fraud. And these botnets also help the hacking group identify more than 400,000 websites that were vulnerable to cyber attacks. Now, also here again, if you're a small business owner, the chances are that you don't have the type of online security that an IBM or an NSA has at their disposal. So therefore it's prudent for you to do whatever you can to safeguard your system. And it looks like this gang was primarily focused on stealing credentials, maybe to sell onto a third party that would use it for other purposes. But either which way, they've accumulated 1.2 billion unique sets of emails and passwords. So what can you as a small business owner do? Well, Professor Alan Woodward of the University of Surrey suggests the following rules that should be observed when choosing a password. First and foremost, don't choose anything that's directly and obviously associated with you, because hackers can find out a lot about you from your social media websites, and so if they're targeting you specifically due to their botnets being able to see that there's a vulnerability, using your partner or your pet's name as your login password could land you up in the spot of bother. And also, don't use words that obviously appear in dictionaries. Hackers can pre-calculate the encrypted forms of entire dictionaries and reverse engineer your password from there. The best would be to use a mixture of unusual characters. You can use a phrase that you can easily remember, but substitute characters for letters. The example that I've got here reads, "My dog has big ears." Then, next up, have different passwords for different sites and systems, so that if a hacker does manage to compromise one system that you're using, he doesn't suddenly have the key to lock all of your accounts. And lastly, with multiple passwords, it's tempting to write them down and carry them around with you in your wallet or in your purse. But it's better to use some secure password vault, for instance on your smartphone, or for that matter keep a hard copy of your passwords locked away in a real safe. My personal recommendations for the sites that you use to generate your income, such as for instance Google AdSense, eBay, affiliate accounts, or for that matter your website that you're generating your online sales for your business from, is to have a series of 3 or 4 passwords for each of these type of sites, and rotate those 3 or 4 passwords every couple of months. So which means that if there is a hack into one of your income generating sites, you'll be replacing that password within a couple of weeks, so therefore the long-term risk to you is much less. And lastly, please post your comments and questions down below and tell me if this format of video works for you. And please click the like and share button down below to share the video amongst your friends, especially those that are also in small business like ourselves, and because for them this information can prove invaluable as far as protecting their future income. And lastly, please subscribe to my channel, because that way you can stay up to date with new videos as I publish them each week. Take care out there. See you next time. Cheers.